Well, good morning, YouTube. Welcome to Highwayman Trucking, my way on the highway. Just got woken up here. I'm in Silverthorne, Colorado, in the middle of the Rockies, off I-70. I pulled into a little rest area, scenic area, whatnot, and decided to sleep last night. And I'm hauling a load of sod, rolled sod. It is, I'm real close to 80,000 pounds, just a hair underneath, and it's a heavy load. Beautiful. Another nice day out in Colorado. All right, got a nice load of grass. Wished I had this at my house, but nice load of grass. Hello, I wanted to show how I use my steel flat tarps here to tarp small loads, 4 to 6 foot loads. So you can see my securement. The first tarp is there, and you just button it down all the way, and then in the back, I've gotten it buttoned down pretty good. I'll go around and show you the other side. And now we're going to put the front tarp on, and we'll get that buttoned down and hit the road. Top tucked in. If you've ever gone through I-70 from Denver through the Rockies, you know that there's some very steep grades. I mean, it was pretty much 25, 35 mile an hour the majority of the way up those hills for an hour and a half or so last night. And add that to the fact that it was snowing, slushy, raining, down about 32 degrees, and it was snowing pretty consistently. And a lot of sharp curves, steep turns, downhill grades, 6-7% grades. If you've ever done the drive, you know it's just not great, especially heavily loaded and in the dark, fog, snow. It's just not fun. So anyhow, white knuckle driving, and finally about midnight, I saw a little rest area, and I decided that I was just gonna call it a night. I had about an hour left of drive time available on my day, but I knew I couldn't make it all the way to the location within that time frame. So I figured, well, you know what? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna do the smart thing. I'm gonna pull over and get my 10 in. So I pulled over, and I'm hauling a load for TQL. And I know a lot of you just went, oh God, TQL. Sometimes they have some good freight. Doing business with them, typically, there's the way that their company is set up, it's very easy to do business with them. That is a great thing about them. Signing and receiving rate cons is easier than any other company. Getting your driver's instructions is pretty easy. They have a great quick pay program that works well. You are always paid on time. They have a lot of great benefits. One of TQL's downfalls is their tracking system. They want to track you, and I get that. So they have an automated check call system that I use on their app, and periodically you just push the button and it'll send check calls. And you can also send emails directly to the broker and so forth. Now, they do have a bad habit, irregardless of your check calls, at calling you at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 5 a.m., whatever it is. It's early sometimes. And So when I stopped, I sent an email saying, hey, I am here. I'm shutting down for the night. Bad weather, horrible driving. Just going to, take my reset. I'll start again at 10 a.m. Now, I have an 11 o'clock appointment, and I know that it's about an hour and a half distance, so I know I won't make that 11 o'clock appointment. So I send the broker this email, very clearly stating everything. And I wake up to a phone call this morning, and it went to voicemail. And in the message, you could hear the tone in the broker's voice, basically chastising me for stopping, telling me that, you have an 11 a.m. appointment. This sod has to get unloaded and watered and blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't even leave the yard till 8 p.m. When I took this load, you knew I had a 352-mile deadhead just to get the load. So that's 352 miles through South Dakota, Nebraska, and into Colorado. Majority was back roads, so you know how that went. I get to the location at about 5:30, and it takes about 2.5, 3 hours to get me loaded, tarped, and to get out of Dodge. Now, I didn't even stop for a 30-minute after that. I stopped for maybe 10, 15 minutes to get some food at a truck stop and took it with me, and that was it. And I run into adverse weather conditions. And so I call this guy back, and he basically chastises me for shutting down in inclement weather. And I says, well, I was, just about out of hours. Oh, well, I didn't know you were out of hours. I thought you were stopping because of the snow and the rain. Well, who the F gives a shit if I was? I mean, it's my determination what is safe and what is not safe, whether I am tired or not tired. And I says, look, I had an hour left of drive time. I was exhausted. The weather was horrible. I knew I couldn't make it to the destination legally anyhow. So it made sense to shut down, get my 10-hour break in, which I would have had to have had anyhow. I mean, the time doesn't change. It's mathematics. I still, even if I would have driven that extra hour, I still would have been, 30 to 45 minutes away from the drop. And I still would have had to have a 10-hour reset, and I still wouldn't have got there till the same time. So I didn't bite back as hard as I normally do but I thought about it after I got off the phone. This guy's chastising me for making a determination of weather, and he's telling me that every other truck that loaded is already there. And I know that's a damn lie, because the gentleman that loaded behind me was just about out of hours for the day and was going to have to shut down. So I know damn well he's not there already. And, unless he ran illegal, I don't know. But he had never done this drive in his life, was not excited about the snow or the rain. He didn't even have IFTA for his truck. Nice guy, but he asked me if there was a place he could get fuel permits. And I'm like, fuel permits? This is Colorado. We don't have to have... He says, no, I only run Texas. My plates are portioned. And I'm like, dude, you're not even legally supposed to be hauling loads if you don't have IFTA. Anyhow. So, and I'm the one that the broker decided to chew out. And those are some of the issues that I have had with TQL in the past. They seem to have a lot of young guys and gals, but as brokers. And I don't think I've ever had a problem with a woman at TQL. It's always the men. And they will call you and harass you. And I've jumped their stuff many a times because I'm like, I talk to you more than I talk to my wife in a day. This is ridiculous. But just a little rant. It's only about 8:30 or so in the morning here. I still have an hour and a half till I can even move. But yeah, I'll show you the outside. It's 36 degrees now, so that's good. No ice, but definitely got a little weather last night. And that is my view up in the Rockies. Little flurries coming down. Nothing like last night, but pretty. I'll get out and show you the load when I get my pre-trip going here. Beautiful sight to wake up to. Silverthorne, Colorado. Little scenic area that I spent the night at.